local rice is better than imported rice. I think people must know that first. But now the government says you cannot mix the rice. So what's going to happen? What is going to happen to the quality of the imported rice?
BFM 89.9, this is the Breakfast Grille. I'm Keith Kam. Today is the 12th day of Ramadan, and on the program this morning, we have a man who knows retail inside and out and everywhere in between. I dare say he has his fingers on the pulse of what Malaysians buy, why they buy it, and how to keep prices low while running a thriving business. Datuk Wira Ameer Ali Mydin is the social media star and managing director of Mydin Muhammad Holdings, Malaysia's largest homegrown wholesale and retail chain. Ramadan Karim, and welcome back to BFM, Datuk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Datuk, one thing we keep hearing year in and year out, especially during Ramadan, is how things keep getting more expensive and that the quality and quantity of food one buys at the Merit bazaars keep declining. What's your experience been after 11 days? I mean, have you visited any bazaars yet?
No, I have not, because I don't go to the bazaar. I rather eat at home. Mm-hmm. Home cooked food is better and cheaper, of course, right? But I'm not stopping people from going to the bazaar. I think please go. You help the economy.
Right.
Okay. Always the first few days is always quiet.
Right.
It's always quiet. People kind of get tired of getting puasa kind of thing. Then it picks up. Bazaar business is not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad. But looking at the food business, or are we looking at, let's say, baju raya, all those kind of things, right? And that baju raya cookies always pick up the last 2 weeks. And so far, as we see numbers coming in from the retail side, business is damn good.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, numbers are better than last year.
Right.
Numbers are better than last year. People are actually spending money. I wonder where the money is coming from. But you see a lot, of course, on TikTok and, on the social media. So you see a lot of things happening out there. And you see money, seriously. Money is there. You go to restaurants, or you go for Bazaar Ramadan, or you even go for your Ramadan buffet,
right?
Which is damn expensive, seriously.
It is,
now.
Yeah, indeed.
Very expensive, but it's back.
Interesting that you brought up, the fact that now people are beginning to buy stuff for Hari Raya, especially in terms of cookies and baju raya. What are you seeing at your outlets? You just launched this Excited Raya campaign, I believe. I mean, how is that working out?
That's why I'm saying that the business is much better. Last year was bad, seriously. The year before was not too bad. Yeah, of course, before get the COVID, and it got a bit better. Last year was somehow bad, But this year, it's gone better. And, people are shopping earlier. And why they're shopping earlier? Because all this about matching clothes, you want to wear green this year, so I have to wear green. My choo-choo have to wear green, Right. So to match things right, you got to shop only to get your colors and the sizes right. So I think people tend to go earlier in the market.
If we look at Malaysia's inflation rate, I mean, officially it's modest and manageable at around 1.7%, which is the lowest figure in about a year.
That's a joke.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to ask you about the situation on the ground. It's really a lot more nuanced. What's the sense that you are getting from the people who shop at Mydin? Have your prices gone up by as much as, I mean, you say it's a joke, so have prices gone up as much?
I think we look at it, Mydin could be a bit different, seriously, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But food prices have definitely gone up. I mean, your grocery shopping will have gone up by 5 to 7% easily. But certain key items like chicken hasn't gone up that much. If you compare last year, Raya, it was 799, 819. Now it's gone to 859. So it's a slight increase for basic chicken, buffalo meat, and those kind of things, right?
Okay.
But overall, fresh is not too bad. But grocery has definitely gone up. Sundries have gone up. So prices have actually gone 5 to 7%. Baju Raya outside, of course, prices have gone up. Baju Raya Mydin has gone down. Because last year we said, oh my God, maybe we didn't price it right. So we made Baju Melayu only 69.90, which is seriously what you buy outside for 149. So, we try to get the pricing right because we are selling volume, and of course we are catering for the B40s and the M40s who are B40s now.
As to what the government is actually doing to rein in inflation, what's your take on how you see them doing it? Are they doing a good job or making it worse?
I think this inflation part is very difficult to control because it is a global phenomena, right? America says America first. Now Canada say Canada first. When Malaysia going to say Malaysia first, you see, So this inflationary thing is actually global. The more important thing is how to make it affordable for the B40s, So the way to do it, of course, is what they're doing is right. One, they've increased the minimum wage, right? So since February, wages have gone up. That 200 ringgit, seriously, for the B40, a lot of money. And we can see that money because, we are the one really catering to the B40s in the market, right?
Yes.
Besides few other hypermarket. So we can see our sales going up because the extra 200 goes straight for the basic necessities. And of course, I think you know that Sumbangan Tunai Rahmah, the so-called, they were giving to 700,000 recipients. Okay, in April, I wish they'd given it March. It will help the Raya business more. But April is better. Raya business is okay. In April, they're going to give 4.5 million recipients. At least another 100.
Right.
So that's another 450, 500 million being pumped into the economy. 500 million, times by 12, 6 billion a year.
Right.
That multiplier effect definitely will help the businesses.
What's your outlook if we go forward with regards to how people are going to be spending? The government is really looking at subsidy rationalization going forward. That's something you support. And then recently we saw EPF paying out one of the highest dividends since 2017, and people have a way to access that through account 3. What are your expectations for the rest of the year with regards to how people are going to be spending at your stores?
I think since the money is going at the lower end, more to the lower end, which is more important, so we expect business to seriously go up.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I think this first quarter is definitely going to be good. Now in second quarter with the so-called 100 ringgit extra for the 4.5 million, that will help. The only challenge is going to be the petrol.
Yeah.
Petrol, because you're paying $2 something. You're going to go to 3 something, assuming you remove 100% subsidy, right? That is 50% extra.
Right.
So that is a very big chunk of money. And remember, even though you have some kind of basis to have the B40, it affects the M40 the most, right? So if you're spending 300 ringgit, suddenly you're off 150 ringgit. I think that is my concern. And I hope that petrol part, they do it really slowly.
Okay.
Inch it in. Don't give a shock. I'm okay with the take out the so-called the cooking oil subsidy or the rice subsidy. Because at the end of the day, those kind of things is 20 cent extra, 30 cent extra. It's not too bad.
What do you mean by doing it slowly with regards to, we're talking about the RON 95 subsidies. The government already says that they want to do it to make it a little bit more targeted. What is your take on how it should be implemented if this is the way?
The government haven't told us how they're going to do the so-called targeted. And whenever they target, it doesn't work, seriously, because there will be abuse in the system. They have target for, packed cooking oil, it doesn't work. They want to target the so-called rice, the 26 ringgit, right?
Yeah.
And then yesterday, social media, some foreigners were buying it, people make noise about it. How do we know the Bangladeshi is a Malaysian citizen or not? Because they all look alike anyway, right? Let's be fair. How do retailers know? But we are not supposed to enforce it anyway.
Okay.
It's all in good faith. But people at that level, obviously they will pick it up. And we at cashiers have difficulty saying no to people, right? And we are not enforcers here, right? So I think this is going to be the biggest challenge here in terms of how you manage the subsidy and the removal of the subsidy. I just wish that, forget this targeted petrol kind of stories, You're just spending money unnecessary to monitor all this kind of thing. Just do it and increase your STR to that so-called 4.5 million people if you want to do it.
How do you recommend redirecting the funds saved from the removal of the subsidies?
It has to be through STR.
Okay.
I think Singapore does a good job. Seriously. They give to everybody, something to make everybody manage the so-called the cost of living. We have good numbers. We know, because due to the STR numbers, we actually know at least you're right 95%. That's good enough, right? Who to give the money to. So you already know who. If you focus that and don't do too much of it, Then you go and do your GST, which they will never do, and increase whatever you want,
You have also been very, very vocal about Malaysia's rice policy. In fact, earlier this week and up until yesterday, you suggested that rice millers are hoarding local white rice to manipulate supply and force new payment terms favorable to them. I'm just curious, what evidence do you have that this is happening?
Evidence, of course, I'm a buyer. I mean, obviously, just 3-4 days ago, when the government announced the subsidy, they said money. First, the government doesn't tell you very clearly. They don't call stakeholders like us to say that, you know what, this is what's going to be in the market. You, Mydin, are going to get X. You, Lotus, will get Y. Then it's very transparent. We depend on the suppliers. Then when you call supplier, they say, hey, where's my SST 5% local? This one a bit difficult. Can you pay cash for this or not? I think it's really unfair when you have normal trading terms. And if everybody says for rice, I want cash. Tomorrow cooking oil, there's a shortage of cooking oil, obviously now, right? So you say, okay, I want cash for cooking oil. Santan is shortage now. I want cash for santan. Hey, come on lah, you don't take advantage. Suppliers should never take advantage.
Indeed. Well, you say you have evidence of this happening. Have you documented it, and would it be something that you bring up to the KPDN, the Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry?
Yes, of course. I went public.
Yeah.
So I went public, and lo and behold,
what was the response you got?
The response I got, supplier says, it's okay now, I can supply to you 1 month credit, no problem.
Okay.
You see? So you see, sometimes you have to be a bit naughty, you have to be a bit vocal about it, so that I guess KPDN and maybe the powers to be know what is happening in the market. And now suppliers are supplying on normal terms.
Okay, so memang that they are doing this right now, but what specific actions are you expecting from KPDN to, if there is no Datuk Ameer Ali Mydin to bring this issue up, what can be done to ensure this doesn't happen again?
No, I think in this world, we all have to be vocal,
Yeah.
We cannot just be quiet and just move on like that. We have to be vocal. And I'm sure others would. If I didn't say something, somebody will, of course, come and say it, maybe more quietly. Maybe I'm a bit too vocal about it. Okay. But I think the most important thing here is that the SST 5% local is available in the market now, more than before. But whether the approach the government is doing is the right approach, I think that is more important, because here you permit another $150 million subsidy, right? That means you're subsidizing $6 per pack of 10 kilo.
Right.
That's how you get your 24 million packs, you see, 150 million 6 months. I just hope that they don't wait until the 7th month to say again, I'm going to give another 150 million. Because then after 4 months, people are going to start hoarding the rice again. Because availability is going to be an issue, right? So I think the government can be a bit more proactive in this kind of thing. We know what's happening in the market. Be a bit more proactive. And one thing about rice, seriously, local rice is better than imported rice. I think people must know that first. Right?
I agree.
I think that the second thing is that imported rice, because of the quality and the monopoly, which you have to buy from Bernas, the quality is quite bad now. Okay, see, from the millers, right? So they have to mix with the local rice to get the right quality so it meets to our requirement. But now the government says you cannot mix the rice. I'm going to have this Mydin checking on you. So what's going to happen? What is going to happen to the quality of the imported rice? And who's going to buy this imported rice? Because there's not enough local rice in the market, obviously, because it doesn't, we only supply 30-40% of the local rice. Right?
Thunder, lightning and the thunder, 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 feel the thunder.
Malaysia's #1 5G network. With you mobile.
Dato', I want to talk about staffing first, in particular EPF. You are quite vehement about your opposition to the mandatory 2% contribution for foreign workers, which has already been passed in Parliament. So your rationale is that they will eventually repatriate the money back to their home country. But how would you address the social protection aspects for foreign workers who work just as hard, if not harder, than Malaysians?
What is this 2% got to do with social protection anyway? Seriously. It's another cost. And
cost to?
Cost to us.
Right.
Cost to us, because we got to pay extra 2%, right? We are already paying them the minimum wage, right? So that's one. We have to provide housing. We have to make sure if something happens, we have to take care of them, right? Now extra 2%. And that 2%, I don't know who came up with this idea, seriously, Just because some ILO asks you to do certain things, we don't have to follow. Singapore has reversed. I mean, sometimes you have to think why another country, more developed, supposedly can afford it more, has reversed the policy. You see, they have reversed it. So why spend extra? 2% is a lot of money. It's billions of dollars when you look at it, right? Okay, and all that money is going to be sucked out from the economy, goes to EPF, and these people are going to take it back. It doesn't help the country at all.
But in a way, it kind of does because, if these foreign workers face social issues and social problems here, this is something that they could depend on rather than become a drag on our social welfare, right?
They can't take out the money. It's 2% is EPF, right? You put it, only when they leave, they can take out the money.
Right.
Only when they're 55 or something, they can take out the money. But when they're 55, they're not supposed to be anyway.
I mean, we don't know how it works yet. There could be an account 3 for them as well.
Possible. Yeah. I mean, the government don't give clarity, But the issue is, why do it? Seriously, that 2% is not going to be savings where they go, I'm sick today, let me take out my EPF money.
Okay, so as you
if you allow, they'll take it out straight away.
Right, so as you mentioned just now, it's also a cost to employers and it's an incentive for you guys to reduce your dependence on foreign labor. Do you see that as a valid argument?
I think nobody wants to have foreign labor. It is of no choice. I think we have to get it in our head, Why do we want foreign workers? We don't. We want the local. But there are certain jobs that the locals might not want to do, obviously, because the salary that we pay, which is 1,700. Obviously, if we pay 3,500 to a local to take care of the mama restaurant or whatever, then they will work. But it doesn't work out. The numbers don't work out. Right? And in every country, even you go to America, you got Mexicans, whatever you want to do now. So in every country, there is this segment of foreign workers. And you need this to drive the economy.
Right.
I think you have to be smart about it. Do you want me to wash my car? I'll be more productive doing something else. Right? So it's things like that. So I don't think this 2% has been thought through carefully. I think it's been done because of pressure from international.
Okay.
And it's to make our cost higher.
Okay, so you have been a very strong advocate as well for the minimum wage, and from the early days, you've already implemented minimum wage at your stores. Do you still depend a lot on foreign labor, or have you been successful in increasing the local workforce?
No, I think all of us have certain numbers. I mean, ours is 15%. It's we employ 7,000 workers altogether. Staff, we have 7,000 staff.
15%?
Only 15% are foreign.
All right.
So majority, 85% are local. We're not dependent 100%. But there's certain tasks that we need the foreign workers to do. At our warehouses, we need foreign workers, Sometimes our cashiers, we need foreign workers. It's difficult to be a cashier, not that easy. So we need it. I'm all for the increase in minimum wage because I see the extra 200 ringgit, okay? The cost of living has obviously gone up, right? So the extra 200 ringgit, it goes back to the economy. And hopefully they all shop in Mydin.
Are you looking at more digital solutions and are there enough incentives for you to do so that you don't have to hire that many people?
There's no incentive for us to do this. Okay. Government can say all they want to say about incentives they're giving for the bigger players. Right? If I want to put in self-checkout counters, I want to do this.
Yeah, you've done that.
And
your app as well.
It is all our own money.
Right.
It's all our own money. And we are doing it. And we are actually doing it. We are doing it. But, many places, even if you go to the US, they're taking out a lot of self-checkout counters nowadays because of pilferage. So you have to balance. We are trying to go which way people. We also have to see what people have been doing and what they're going back to. So you see, this is the main thing.
So it's not working for you, the self-checkout counters?
It works to a certain extent, but we have to be careful.
Right.
We have to be careful. A lot of pilferage in self-checkout counters. We have to balance this. Right? So I think that's the main thing. In terms of digitalization or that, all of us are investing millions of dollars because we know we have to increase productivity. Increasing productivity is separate from dependent on foreign labor. There are two different things.
Dato, it's been about a year since the KK Mart issue with the socks, and recently there was the ham and cheese sandwich controversy, and you have made your opinions heard about these issues. You accuse those amplifying these issues as trying to gain political mileage. Have things sort of subsided, or do you feel that there is still something bubbling underneath, just waiting to erupt?
I think we should be calm in every issue. Now we have the so-called three DJs,
Yeah.
I'm sure, I also know the DJ. I'm sure they have no real intention to do it. So I think as matured Malaysians, we should not raise issues unnecessarily. If you see something happen, they apologize, let's move on. Unless there's really bad intention to do it.
So you're saying that the politicians who publicize this and amplified this have bad intentions?
Of course, they want political gain.
Right.
Racialistic policies is very bad for any country. Right. So I think we should, they made a mistake and they explain to you what happens, even the so-called the sandwich, the ham, come on, why would anybody want to do this, right?
Is religion being over politicized in Malaysia?
All the time. And in many countries, not only in Malaysia, India also is the same issue. But I think we have to be rational. We are one of the few countries, we are multiracial, multi-religion. Sensitivity is very important. We have managed so far very well. Let's not mess it up.
Does Mydin and indeed members of the Bumiputra Retailers Organisation, of which you are advisor, do you guys feel overly pressured that I suppose you are just too scrutinized over the third-party products that you guys carry?
When you say third party, what do you mean?
Well, this is what sparked the issues with the socks and the ham and cheese sandwich, right?
Yeah, but you see, all of us import things.
Yeah.
All of us buy from sources, right? Mistakes do happen in supply chain.
Okay.
Right? Don't blame. You see, you go to the supermarket and you see an expired can of food in the shelf.
Right.
Of course, it's not intention. And yes, blame us because our job is to remove it. Have you seen the expired food in your home, in your own shelf? If you don't check and what your mates are doing with it, it happens, right? I'm not saying that we should condone it, but when you find something, inform the management. You don't have to take a photograph, put on social media, because these are not intentionally done. Live and let live.
I want to ask about the halal reputation that Malaysia, it's important for Malaysia. You highlighted that 40% of the over 9,000 companies that are halal certified are Bumiputra owned. That's 2023 figure. Have things improved, and how can we improve that?
I think JAKIM has to do a better job. They say, within 1 month, 90%, we approve if all documents are correct.
Right.
All right. I think government always like to give this kind of numbers. But in reality, what is happening on the ground? If your customer says it's difficult, then it's difficult. Listen to your customers, That is important.
Datuk, Mydin Mohamad Holdings has still not returned to the black yet, as at your 2024 financial year. I'm looking at a 47 million ringgit net loss. Your financial year end is March 31st, not too long from now. Are you expecting some good news for the 2025 FY numbers?
Let me put it this way. It's not that we're not profitable because of the MFRS issue. So we're actually profitable. We make money every year.
Okay.
But because of the MFRS, you see, because the type of business that we are in, we invest in buildings. Sometimes we sell the building. Then we have long-term leases. So we have 15 years leases, 20-year leases on the building that we have, right? Now, because of that, the MFRS comes in. So that so-called 40, 50 million is all got to do with MFRS. So you see, the way MFRS works is, after 7, 8 years, then it comes back to you and you become profitable. But we are paying taxes every year.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we must be profitable because otherwise, our income tax does not let you go, So, and this doesn't affect cash flow, it just affects your balance sheet. Even most banks understand that, this is an accounting thing that you have to do. Everybody has been forced to do it. It wasn't there before. If I had known about MFRS 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't have done long-term leases, obviously. Right? But, it just came in and we have commitments. It's unfortunate, but Yeah, it's not a cash. I think in business, most important, is it a cash flow issue or not?
Right.
It is not a cash flow issue.
Obviously, because you're still in business. I mean, I want to ask about your revenues, though. I mean, you have been in this business for decades now. I mean, Mydin itself is proudly Kelantanese and reaching 70 years old. How have consumer attitudes changed in the face of inflation and other uncertainties?
You know, we have been quiet in terms of growth, basically.
Yeah.
Right. For the last, I mean, if you look at our numbers, right, we have always been that 2.93, 3.1, 3.2. That means it's all organic. We haven't really been opening new branches compared to some of our competitors for many reasons. I mean, it all depends on how you want to look at this thing, right? But I think now we have started to open. We just opened our 70th outlet last month in Kulim, right? And we're going to start opening outlet because actually we have a very good land base, which we have bought lands 5 years, 7 years ago. We have got 5 or 10 parcels of land everywhere, which we own actually and paid for. So we'll probably be opening. I mean, you will hear we'll be opening about 2 or 3 every year from now on.
I mean, the reason I was asking about the change in consumer attitudes is that I also noticed that your revenues hardly budged since 2020, the start of the pandemic. Is that as a result of having just below 70 outlets and staying there?
If you don't open new outlets,
are people not spending?
I think the ones who are reporting higher revenues, some of my competitors,
Yes.
is all number of outlets.
Okay.
Your organic growth, seriously, is only 2 to 3%, or maximum 4%. So when you look at the numbers, right, there is some growth, and that's organic. We are not opening outlets. If we could have closed 1 or 2 outlets, we had a massive fire in one of our outlets last year, which cost us a 15 million loss, So that also drops revenue. But overall, when you look at it, numbers are still there, which is the good news. At least stability is there. I mean, we still have about 7.8 to 7.9% market share. We used to have 8 something. So now it's about 7 points. It's just slightly gone down. But I think from next year, if we open outlets, we should be able to gain some higher turnover.
Is an overseas expansion on the cards for you guys?
Nope.
Not at all.
Never thought about it.
Never thought about it?
Never. I mean, you know why? Obviously, we only got 70 outlets, right, in Malaysia. Okay. There's so many places we are not there, right? You might as well focus on your own country first, where you know the business, then think of going somewhere else and fighting with somebody else.
At the start of the conversation, I said that you were the social media star for Mydin. I mean, you are indeed the face of the social media app for Mydin. Do you think this is sufficient to bring in the footfall and as well as the spending? What else do you need to do in terms of harnessing new technologies and digital innovations for Mydin?
I think there are a lot of challenges out there. I mean, social media is, of course, one thing. It is much cheaper than advertising in print or other medium, right? But I think the more important thing is there are a lot of challenges. There's online challenge. There's a big challenge from China. People buy online from... See, it's okay. People buy online in Malaysia. And those platforms are really foreign. We have to be very careful. Malaysia has to be very careful, seriously. We open up too fast. We allow everybody under the sun to do business. Look at Indonesia. Look at Thailand. When something happens, they shut it down. They shut down Shopee. They shut down Taobao. And here people are buying from Taobao, Shein, and so the local players get affected. See, online is good. But you have to be careful for the country because those kind of business, money is just going out from the country. There's no reinvestment. Okay. But if you go to a shopping center, whether you go to Pavilion or you go to Bangsa Shopping or whatever, you spend money, you go and shop there, you go and have your food, you have to drive there, you take a car or whatever. So I think it's important that the government look at what's happening to country. A lot of countries are looking inward, right? We also have to be careful and we also have to look at our own security.
Do you feel a lot of pressure from the other retail companies? Like, NSK is extremely aggressive at opening outlets. Do you feel the need to compete with them in this way?
Well, definitely we are competitive.
Yeah.
We are competitive. We have to be competitive. Customers are loyal to you to a certain extent, but competitiveness matter. right? I think there's no issue. And the good thing about it is that Malaysia is a very competitive market. You know, I mean, you can get, I mean, seriously, all of us are, you know, on the toes every day, you know. So it's good for the consumers. I think KPD don't have to worry about that.
I want to bring you back to a conversation you and I had in 2019, actually, when I asked you about the possibility of listing. Because, you know, we saw 99 Speed Mart doing so quite successfully. You ruled it out at that time. And in fact, I think you ruled it out when you spoke with Shauning in 2023. You said that you wanted to keep things in a family and that you were grooming family members. How is that listing idea shaping out now? Still off the cards?
No. Yep, it's still off the cuff.
All right.
I mean, seriously, there's no real reason to list unless you want to cash out.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people list because they want to cash out, right? I mean, a lot of people, I mean, forgetting 99, okay? But I mean, look at DIY or whatever. There are equity partners who come in, they have a 5-year, I call them vultures. They come in, they have a 5-year time frame, they want to make the money and get out. You see, we're looking at very long-term family business. I think it's sustainable.
You told me you're grooming family members to take over. That was 5 years ago. How is that working out?
They're there.
Yeah, right.
They're there. I mean, they're managing, you know, they're managing the business. I got, I mean, family members, you know, my 2 nephews are already 50 years old.
Okay.
You know, definitely they are there. So I've got 4 family members already in the business, and they're managing very, very well. I'm very, very happy to know that. You know,
Okay.
some other, I got another 2 or 3, including my own children.
Right.
They don't fancy doing Mydin.
Yeah.
You know, they want to do their own thing, which is also okay. I mean, do what you want to do, what you think is good for you. But I think you shouldn't have too many family members. You know, you have 2 or 3. Okay, so you've got your own family members. You also have to give others a chance.
Right.
You know, and because they have different perspective. I mean, to grow, you cannot remain a family business all the time.
Datuk, thank you very much for coming in. I enjoyed this chat.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
On the Breakfast Grill today was the Managing Director of Mydin Mohammed Holdings, Datuk Ameer Ali Mydin. I'm Keith Kam for BFM 89.9, the business station.